I don't either.
Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Vancouver. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller. One more round to go, Randy. It's round 9. Both of the players that we have here in our feature match area are sitting at 7-1. Therefore, they're locked for day 2.
They're in.
But we know that they have bigger
yes,
pictures here.
You feel a lot better going to bed at 8-1 versus in the giant mob of people at 7-2.
Now, Joe Demestrio has just mulliganed to 5. And you see the judge stopping him, but we are just about ready to play here. Yep, you guys, you can go ahead and play that swamp there, Joe. His opponent, John Torrez.
Demestrio's on a basic Black Devotion.
He's on Black Devotion, yeah. And Joe has top 16, I believe his last 4.
4 GPs in a row?
4 GPs.
I think I heard that stat.
I think that's crazy. True, yeah. He has really been doing well and just hasn't been getting there. Now, you get a little look at what John Torrez is putting up at 7
He also mulligan. That's a 6-card
1. It is a negate. This is the first game and a fog.
It's a negate and a fog and 4 lands.
And the lands, if you'll notice, there's a breeding pool there, but there's also some guild gates.
3 different colored guild gates.
Yeah, there's 2 guild gates and 2 tap lands, or 2 shock lands. But
does Joe know what he's up against?
He does now.
I guess.
He probably does now.
You probably know. Like,
there's a merciless eviction, for John Torrez. Now, what John is playing is Maze's End, which is, well, it's basically a combo deck. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. And it eventually tries to win with the land Maze's End and with stalling the game. I mean, it's going to try to draw cards, counter your stuff, and play fogs to keep you from killing them. And it's going to do that for as long as possible until it can get its Maze's End engine going, and then it's going to beat you. So here we go. Land for both players. There's an Underworld Connections for Joe Demestrio to get the train rolling of drawing cards. He finds a swamp. He's going to attack in there with the Mutavault, play a swamp, and he doesn't have any more hand destruction spells, so he's going to go.
And for the record, for those of you who haven't memorized every card ever, Maze's End comes to the battlefield taps for 1.
Yep.
3 and tap it, you can go get a gate from your deck. So all of the guild gates from the Ravnica block can be fetched out with this. It's got kind of a Thawing Glaciers effect for you old school players. So you return it to your hand and spend 3 mana to go get a gate, but then the kicker at the end of it, if you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game.
Right, and that means all of them.
Red means all of them.
And
right?
also,
there are currently exactly 10 gates in the world.
That's right. And you did a very nice job with the timing there, Randy, because that is Maze's End right there that he just searched up a gate with, and it will be bouncing back to his hand here. He replays it.
Right, and so that kind of means, on the one hand, you got to get all 10 gates, but the Maze's End goes and gets them.
It goes,
right?
It'll
It's kind of inevitable. Like, John already has his victory condition. He doesn't need to resolve any spells.
Right.
He just needs to stay alive long enough to activate Maze's End however many times it takes him to get all 10 gates into play.
That's right. Joe Demestrio in a big hurry here, going to hit with that Mutavault once again. He knows that John has a fog in hand.
Yeah, that hurry, like you said, that's why Torrez's deck list plays cards like Fog. He just needs to buy time.
Yep.
He'll get there if he just needs to stay alive long enough. We haven't been handed the deck lists yet, but I imagine there's Wrath of God type effects in the deck, more fogs. Oh, we do have the deck list now. Awesome.
We do.
Yeah, so a ton of guild gates.
And right
Urban
now,
Evolution, that makes sense.
Yeah, John Torrez is really on a pretty simple plan. He's activating his Maze's End the last 2 turns in a row and is content to say, okay, Joe Demestrio, if all you can do is put up a Mutavault, I will race you with my Maze's End, and we're going to just sit here and tap our mana. Now, Joe Demestrio, though, has been activating his Underworld Connections every turn and building up his hand, so you know he's going to have more pressure than that.
Pardon me while I reach over to my iPad and look
Joe Demestrio
up.
Passes the turn back. John has an active Maze's End here. Bunch of cards in hand now. Remember, when he takes his whole turn to activate Maze's End, he still gets his draw step there. And
Merciless Eviction.
He's going to name enchantments here, and that's going to take down Underworld Connections, so he's kind of stem the bleeding there.
Wow.
Not the most efficient way to get rid of an Underworld Connections, but you got to get rid of it.
sorcery, destroy target Underworld Connections?
Yeah. Not amazing, but
you do what you got to do.
Now, if you'll notice, he's got his land set up in such a way that the top row are his gate specific lands, and the bottom are his. They just tap for mana lands. How boring. All right. Joe, though, has played his second Underworld Connections here.
There's only 3 lands in his deck that aren't Gates or Maze's End.
All right, he's drawn 2 of them.
Yeah, he's drawn 2 of them.
Because that's the other thing to remember.
I was surprised to see 2 in there. Like, It feels like he's used up land drops on not advancing his position.
Right, and that's
it's basically 2 of every gate, a third Selesnya Guild gate, because those are the most important colors.
I see.
4 Maze's End, and then 3 duels.
Yeah, and it's sweet because, Maze's End can go search them up, but you also just draw them. Your land drop for the turn just starts building it up. It's great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tick tock. Now
it's not like Demestrio has no way to deal with the lands, right? He just has to race.
Right, and there's so few ways to deal with lands in the format that actually gets played.
You can't thought seize them.
Right. There is that. What is that land from M14 called? The name escapes me at the moment, but that can destroy a land, but nobody plays it. It's just not around.
Right.
So I think as far as the Maze's End win condition goes, it's just a complete open door.
You just have to race them on damage.
Yeah, you just have to race them on damage.
And the way they're set up, they play so many fogs.
Right.
Fog, Defend the Hearth, Riot Control.
Riot Control,
Do you remember Riot Control?
Yeah.
It's
I remember not playing it in Limited.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even make the cut in Limited.
No.
That's the gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. 3 mana.
BDM mentioned it to me. I said, is that the gain life one or the fog one? He's like, it's both.
Yes.
So John's deck is technically 5 colors because he can cast anything, but I don't know that he actually has spells from all. Like, does he have any black?
Green, white, blue.
Okay, green, white, blue. All right.
The black is on the Merciless Eviction. So
okay,
yes.
So a little bit of touch there.
I don't see anything with red in it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a turn burn in his sideboard, so he in fact has all 5 colors.
Okay.
Somewhere in his list. What is that?
That is a Supreme Verdict right there.
Oh, okay. Alternate art.
Yep. That is the Buy a Box promo. Yeah, he's running Urban Evolution to help power out his...
Joe decides to devour his own flesh because he realizes there will never be a creature on Torrez's side of the board. And in theory, gaining 6 life from Desecration Demon might turn into more cards with Underworld Connections.
Absolutely.
So, might as well.
I like that play.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the right thing to do. Does not have Erebos in the main. That's the other place where life can turn into cards sort of more quickly. He's got a couple Ereboses in his sideboard, but none in the main.
Okay. Another Underworld Connections here for Joe Demestrio.
He's
going to draw a card
not really
first,
managed to mount much of an offense. He's got John down to 8, but
yeah,
John's got a grip full of cards. Like, he hasn't really started on the Fog Engine.
Right.
His graveyard is 3 cards.
At some point, John can just start fogging the Mutavault. I mean, if Joe is reluctant to commit any more to the board, he's just going to start doing it. It looks like this is the turn.
Now is time to start.
Defend the Hearth.
And he's at 6 gates and a Maze's End. Am I reading
1,
his board
2,
right?
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Going to go up to 7 off of the Maze's End. Again, cards like Urban Evolution help power out more gates and continue the card draw as well. John Torrez actually looks to be in a pretty darn good position here. They were trying to decide if Joe had played a land yet and decided that he had not. Underworld Connections gets negated.
I'm playing negate. You had no.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what's going to come out of this?
I mean, that's the sick part. Maze's End taps for mana, too. It's like it's your win condition, taps for mana. Night Veil Spectre.
A good one.
You got to figure that it's going to be tough for Joe to cast any of the spells, but I mean, does John have any one of Guild Gates that he can bink with it and just blow them out?
Everything's at least 2.
All right. And is this during his upkeep that he's doing this?
I didn't see.
I didn't see either,
plausible.
But he is activating his Maze's End, return it to his hand, and you just see that John's played enough. He just immediately replays the Maze's End every time. It's just that's his play.
Oh, Detention Sphere.
Detention Sphere. Joe says you got it. John has left up negate mana again down there, so it's something that Joe can consider, but he is falling behind rather quickly here. Just a few.
7 gates.
7 gates, 2 more to go, and John will have the auto victory. Druid's Deliverance now for John Torrez, so he has all of the fogs in Standard now represented, and not one fog left
Unaccounted for?
Unaccounted for.
Are you sure? I bet there's some
There could be.
Another bad limited fog
There's a
we've forgotten about.
6-mana fog I forgot or something. All right, here it is. Number 8. Guild Gate number 8. Replay Maze's End.
Is that 8 or 9?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 8.
Oh, 8, yeah. Okay.
So John Torrez getting really close here. Now, you know, how important is a card like Gray Merchant in this situation where Joe maybe can just boom, boom, and kind of get him where Fog doesn't do anything against a card like that?
I mean, I think it's part of the reason that John went for the Detention Sphere plan versus Nightfell Spectre instead of the Fog plan.
I see.
Is to get the black pips off the board.
Okay.
Like, Gray Merchant only hits for 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gray Merchant wins the game, maybe? Or Night Veil into Gray Merchant is 3, 4, 5, 7 would get John to 1. Yeah, Gray Merchant is the way Joe's going to win this game. Like, he can deal damage through fogs. Because they're all fogs, right? They're not prevent damage.
I mean, isn't Gray Merchant life loss anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now if he plays a gate, so
yes.
he plays one and activates
now he can activate
it, right?
And that'll be it. And Joe's going to take a quick read.
Double check.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So he plays number 9, he activates, and he's going to go get number 10.
Yeah, you make him show you the gate and then do it.
Wow.
And then you win the game.
Wow.
All right, looks like the judge wants to read
the card. That's awesome.
Wow, so John Torrez up a game over Joe Demestrio.
Cool.
Yep. That's awesome.
That is fun.
That is
times.
awesome. Yeah.
Do we know anything about John Torrez?
I do not. I know nothing about him except for he's wearing a Joe Montana jersey.
Is that a Montana?
Right? Wasn't Joe Montana number 16? Yeah.
I guess that, I mean, it's sort of like a 49. It's not a Chiefs version, right?
I hope not. I mean, if he's...
Well, he was 19 on the Chiefs anyway.
If he's a 49ers fan, I mean, we have to just start saying bad things about him, you and I, right? Is that how this
from
works?
Seattle?
Yeah, both of us. So Joe Demestrio...
we're allowed to be good sports now,
yeah,
right?
That's
the
fair.
game's over.
Fair enough, yeah. And plus, this doesn't really have anything to do with Joe Montana at this point, right? We weren't exactly in the hunt back then. But Joe Demestrio on the left side there.
We weren't even in their division.
He's he's really one of the up-and-comers.
He's looking at his sideboard
for.
Right now saying, how does this matchup work?
But I mean, on a bigger picture, I don't know if the viewers are super familiar with Joe, and he's really one of the rising stars for Magic.
Yeah,
he
that's
has
a good
been
point.
doing so well at Grand Prix. He is inches away from a breakout top 8 performance. And I expected
4 straight top 16s?
I think it was 4 straight. Yeah,
that's insane.
I'll confirm with him, but I mean, like I've predicted on 2 of the last however many GPs that I've done that he would top 8.
I think you're right. I think I did hear that Joe had 4 straight GP top 16s.
He has been really, really good, and you can see he's got his MTG Madness shirt on. I believe he's been testing with those guys. Oh, BDM just walked by and gave us the patented BDM giggle grin. He's super stoked to see the
Maze's End.
The Maze's End deck just go off there.
So Joe's looking. Yeah, Joe's got to fight tilt here too. That's a good point. Like, he's looking at the sideboard like, is Torrez good?
Yeah.
I have no idea if Torrez
And I mean, look at him. He doesn't look very
removal.
happy.
Would you be?
No.
This is not the matchup you practiced for.
Would not be happy.
Was Torrez's list 61 cards? That's hilarious.
Oh, no, don't tell me that. I want to be able to still root for him.
So Joe clearly wants to take out his creature removal.
Okay.
Like, there's no creature. So here's Dawnfall comes out. Devour Flesh comes out. That's 8 cards. Ultimate price is 9. Freakish Cure is 10. So, like, a lot of the sideboard has to go in, even if you're not sure it's good. 3 Lifebane Zombies, 2 Erebos, 4 Duress. That's 9. He's like a card short. He can't go... His sideboard doesn't allow him to have 0 creature kill spells in his deck. I mean, I guess, how many creatureless decks are in this format?
I mean, even the blue-white has at least a couple of things you can hit in the form of Mutavaults and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not set up to go to 0 creature removal spells. I mean, I guess you leave in a Hero's Downfall in case some Planeswalker shenanigans come out of nowhere.
That seems reasonable.
I mean, it's the most flexible. It's not like you're forced to remove something on turn 2. So.
Right.
I mean, I guess. So he's definitely going to go up on Duresses, even though, like, I mean, you Duress a Fog, The interesting fogs isn't irrelevant.
But having the land-based win condition is so tough.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Lifebane zombies are going to do their job here, too. Like, the whole plan where the fact that the Black Devotion players have decided Lifebane Zombie's job is to race. Like, maybe you get lucky and play against somebody who showed up with green-white cards. But, like, I haven't seen a green-white deck on camera in 2 events.
Yeah, out of our top 20 tables, there was 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, Lifebane Zombies mostly 3-power Intimidate, and, like, he's kept his job because you want to race against Mono Blue. You know where else you want to race? Here.
Right here.
You know, wasn't the plan, you know, that wasn't the point, but it'll be his best sideboard card here.
Yeah. So Joe's going to be able to strip away sweeper effects and fogs with his
he's got to put a clock in play.
And put a clock.
He's got to sweep away the sweepers and you know, sweepers is probably the first priority. Fogs is the second. We'll see what happens. John Torrez. I haven't seen this deck in action before, so I have no idea how the sideboard works.
Right, I don't either.
I recognize most of these cards. But
I mean, but think about Torres' opening hand. He gets Thoughtseize. He shows land, 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 fog, negate. And he won that game pretty handily.
Oh, yeah. What? Crackling Perimeter.
Oh, he's running Crackling Perimeter?
4X in the sideboard.
That's awesome.
Crackling Perimeter is a 2-mana enchantment, 1 in a red.
Yep.
Tap an untapped gate you control, deal 1 damage to each opponent.
Yeah, it just turns your gates into pingers. Not for creatures, but...
But for an opponent who's like spent all his life drawing cards with Erebos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just
like Joe Demestrio
and who has
Underworld.
no outs to removing an enchantment.
You totally bring it into this matchup.
I think
right?
you do.
This is the most I'm sure this was the matchup John was thinking about the most when he built this deck.
Oh my god.
This
is like a dream right now. This is the coolest deck I've seen on coverage in a long time. All right, Joe has the Thoughtseize. Let's see what we see. There's Merciless Eviction, Druid's Deliverance, land, 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 land.
Funny.
So John Torres fully set up for his win condition. He's got Maze's End, a couple of gates. He's going to take Merciless Eviction.
Yeah.
Joe's going to take that away. There's another fog. That's a Defend the Hearth for John Torres. So he has really nothing going on for a while, but looks like he has some time. Pack Rat. All right.
Yeah. That's a clock.
Now that's a clock.
John's going to need a sweeper.
Although John does have 3 fogs so far to buy himself enough time to find a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, but that's not going to buy him enough time for Maze's End.
Right. Yeah, and Joe, Joe's job here is to make a board state, right?
Yep.
Get 9 power up
there.
there.
I think you just have to assume your opponent can't find a sweeper.
Right.
You think 9? Whatever.
Like,
you keep making pack rats until it's lethal. You keep making pack rats until the next one's lethal, and then try to run him out of fogs and hope he doesn't find a sweeper.
Right. He's got 4 fogs in hand.
I guess you can stop once they're lethal. Is 4 fogs?
Yeah,
wow.
4 fogs in hand now. And I mean, I think in this deck, it's like fog equals land drop in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's just straight up trading that in. All right, attack with these. No land drops, so there will be no Mutavault activation. And take 6 damage.
I think his land is a Scryland. I do think he should play it, right?
Well, maybe he is going to
fog.
He's
declining to play. Oh, we're still in combat.
I think we might still be in combat.
Interesting. If he takes 9, then Joe will stop making pack rats. If he fogs now, Joe might keep making them.
Yeah. He's taking 6 here. And I think he took it. No, he didn't. He's going to Druid's Deliverance. So
no, yeah, it's 6.
Prevent 6.
Still. Makes it harder for the next attack to be lethal.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
He's going to take 2 here from the breeding pool.
What's he got?
He's got Detention Sphere.
Oh, bye-bye pack rats.
Take care of all the pack rats.
That counts as a sweeper.
That definitely counts. So John Torres, 16 life. Fully stabilized here, and now it's Joe's job to recommit to the board and to start grinding back to a place where he can actually start getting damage in. Again, John's got like 3 more fogs in his hand, and a Maze's End, I believe, floating around there too.
Is this deck actually good against Mono Black? Is that what's going on?
That could be. I can't imagine this deck is great against blue, though. It just feels like blue just runs you over too quickly. I'm curious now. Oh no, is that a crackling perimeter? Boom! Crackle, crackle, turn it over so you can read it. And
Love it.
This is going to get ugly quickly. Joe is at a relatively healthy 17,
right.
But you mentioned it. Underworld Connection sitting there like, you sure? How many times do you want to use this? Yeah, there's one for Joe. He draws an Erebos,
of course,
which is also what you mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
Now, Erebos is not active. Do 1 to you. Go down to 15.
Wow.
And this is going to end very, very quickly. I don't see how Joe can get out of this. With like 3 or 4 fogs in John Torres' hand, he can just start committing these effects and just...
Couple Gray Merchants? Like build up
that's true.
Play some Gray Merchants?
Good point. Because Erebos is only they can't gain life.
Right.
Yeah, so that's fine. And you see that John, probably aware of that as well, is going to continue his Maze's End plan and build up.
It also adds to his Crackling Perimeter plan.
It does.
I mean, you only pull ahead in the long run, but...
Go down to 14 to draw another card for Joe Demestrio.
Night Veil Spectre.
Right.
Does
John
seem like
Torres still at 16. He's got 1 land up, but it can cast green, and he does have a fog in his hand. So if Erebos were to become active this turn, he can prevent the 5.
And he probably will. It's like he definitely wants to try to stay out of Gray Merchant range.
Right. I mean, he has double inevitability on the battlefield, and there's
Lifebane Zombie.
Lifebane Zombie.
Good enough to turn on Erebos.
Yeah, it's not going to hit anything.
Gets to see the hand. Fog. Was that 4 fogs?
4 fogs. 3 defend the hearth and a fog. This is quite a showing here from John Torres.
The pause while Joe does his look-ahead check. He had to look ahead quite a ways to get any meaningful damage in.
Yep. All right, so are we going to see the fog right now? Probably. I mean,
I think.
It's got exactly 5 devotion. John has no idea what Joe has in his hand. Yeah, he's going to burn that fog right now.
He's got to worry about multiple Gray Merchants.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't going to take long for that Crackling Perimeter to finish off Joe Demestrio anyway. Wow, now he draws a Detention Sphere as well, so if he wants to take down Erebos, he can. Yeah, this is a key turn here for John. He can either stay on his plan with Maze's End, or he can Detention Sphere and get a couple of pings in or something. And he's going to go for Detention Sphere, Lifebane Zombie?
Interesting.
That's interesting. I mean,
he's turning off Erebos' ability to attack, but he's willing to let him draw cards. Like, you want to pay 2 life for a card? Be my guest.
That part seems reasonable, but it doesn't seem likely that Erebos is going to stay off for long, right?
Joe declined. He did not pay 2 life to draw
He's
a card.
worried. I mean, he's taking 3 this turn.
Yeah.
Like, he's at a virtual 8.
Yeah.
Like, just tap on tap, and he could be at 7 now.
Right.
Yeah, Joe is trying to navigate this.
Turns on Erebos.
It does. And he's going to get in there for 7, but he obviously he knows, in fact, that...
Well, he wants to make him spend mana on fogs. He's not getting Crackling Perimetered.
Right. And it's math time for John Torres.
Yeah, the math here seems weird.
Yeah.
It's like his 2 plans are at cross purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it.
He's going to take it.
Take 7. Deal
Shoot
3.
you for 3, yep. You go down to 10.
It's Maze's End is not a gate in and of itself.
It is not. It just says land.
Yeah.
Merciless Eviction, though, naming enchantments. And that's actually going to hit the god and both of the things.
It hits the Detention Spheres if he names enchantments.
It does hit the spheres. It also hits the Crackling Perimeter. This could get a little awkward. He named enchantments.
Weird.
Now, doesn't that exile Erebos, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's 9-0, right?
I don't know if I love that, though.
Why?
He's at 9.
If he was that worried about Erebos, he could have Detention Sphered him.
Oh, these are exiled, sorry.
Right? What am I?
He's not going to die here, right?
No.
3.
Wait.
He takes
2 Mutavaults?
6. Yeah.
What just happened? He realized he messed it up?
I think so. So
Wow.
Joe Demestrio, the fortunate recipient, you see John Torrez shaking his head.
he
It
punted.
happens.
He didn't realize his detention spheres were
He
going
just
away.
didn't. He just forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. That was not realizing he was killing his own detention spheres.
Yeah, I said enchantments. I meant
Oh, so what he told his buddies is he said I said enchantments, but I meant creatures. That's what he said.
Huh.
So he
Because
just
it's removed from game?
uh-huh,
So it would have removed
exiles him.
Erebos from the game if he'd said creatures.
Still exiles him. Yeah. He's a creature at the time it resolves.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
He meant creatures, accidentally said
Yeah.
enchantments.
triggers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He said enchantments. He definitely
he
said
said
enchantments.
but he just said he
well,
made a mistake and
yeah,
he
he
meant
leaned
to say
over to his-
creatures. Yeah. So
It's not that he forgot about the interaction with detention sphere. It's that he misspoke. That's
that
his
is
story.
the claim.
That's his story. That's his story to his buddy.
You counterattack on that for 4, right? 5. Getting rid of those underworlds would be good, but you also got rid of those. Well, that's why I'm a 6 creatures. Don't worry about that.
So he was 6-0 and he lost last round, but we don't know what he lost to?
Right.
Or he may have won last round.
No, he won last round and he lost the round before.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe 8 million too much. For too much.
Do you have a pairings by table? I haven't
Not
gotten
for
a
this
chance
round,
to see
unfortunately.
who's hanging out at the top of the Swiss. Yeah, who are the undefeateds that are left?
So you got to feel like if you're in Joe Demestrio, see that you got away with one there, and
Yes.
he's just—I know his brain is working overtime
Definitely.
here, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
that was a gift.
How do I beat this deck? Like, what is the sequence that happens? I mean, it looked like he had a pretty good plan there, but it didn't look like it was working.
You still have 20 minutes.
Fair.
Yeah, you still have 22, 23 minutes.
Yeah, that was a gift.
So John Torrez looks like he's calmed down, though. He doesn't, there's definitely a big gap, between people that make a mistake, especially in the feature match area, and then you can see that they just can't let it go. And it looks like John is okay.
Wow.
He's like, all right, we're going to battle.
Standings are pretty interesting, by the way.
Are they?
So here's through round 8. This is going into this round. There are 6 undefeateds left. They include Matt Sperling, who we see
Okay.
playing on the background. Eugene Huang, Oscar Jones, the Magic Online player that we saw before, Travis Boyce, Richard Coburn, Ryan Bemrose.
Those are all the undefeated.
Those
right
are the
now?
those are the 8-0s. There is a 701,
Okay.
Wilson Mock. Then sitting on 1 loss, very much in it, number 16th ranked Paul Reitzel. Josh Ravitz is right behind him in the standings. Ben Rue, Bruce Swinney. Number 12 ranked Owen Turtenwald. Number 4 ranked Shahar Senhar. Francis Toussaint, Harrison Height. Number 18 ranked Alexander Hain. Christian Calcano. There's a lot of
That's a
names
lot of
sitting
names.
at 7-1 coming into this round. Both of these guys, Demestrio and Torrez with the Maze's End. John Stern, the other super strong Canadian player, sitting 25th ranked. Neil Oliver is at X1.
Oh, yeah. Neil, another one of those sort of rising stars on the GP circuit.
Ben Seck is 7-1.
Ooh.
He's
TBS, huh?
TBS. Yeah, those are the names I recognize anyway. Probably should have recognized more, but Huey is on X1-1. He picked up a draw, so he's on 19 points, which means he's actually back against the wall. Like 2 losses and a draw, it's just like 3 losses
It is.
for advancement purposes.
Yeah.
So he's playing a bubble match right now. Also playing bubble matches, Josh Etter-Layton. Eric Froelich is playing a bubble match right now. David Ochoa is playing a bubble match right now.
Wow, that's a lot on the bubble.
Sam Pardee.
All right, John Torrez has kept. He's on the play. And he starts off with a guild gate and ships a turn back. All right, Joe kicked things off with a Mutavault. And no Swamp, interestingly. It looks like he wants to beat down with that Mutavault ASAP.
Yeah, get into if he's got nothing else to do on turn 2.
Battle, 18 for John Torrez. He's got 2 guild gates in play. 3 guild gates. How unlucky. It's 10 in a row. And there's a Lifebane zombie. So we're going to get a good look at John Torres' hand here, though that zombie won't actually hit anything, presumably. All right, there's a turn burn. That's nice. So turn burn, fog, detention sphere, merciless eviction, and a couple of lands. No Maze's End, though, right? That land hiding behind is not a Maze's End? Don't believe.
No, yeah, I just been drawing it.
No. This is actually his second copy of Selesnya Guildgate. So nothing goes away, but it's got to feel nice to be John Torres and have an answer to that zombie right away if he wants to just pick it off.
I think you give him a turn, right? Especially since he drew Detention Sphere. Maybe he'll play a second one.
It also means that Joe doesn't get to activate his Mutavault unless he's okay with losing it.
Sure.
I mean, I want it to go now. You too. I don't think we have to,
And
Night
there's
Veil
a Night Veil Spectre.
He's going to save turn burn for Erebos, I guess.
Ooh, Supreme Verdict off the top to 2-for-1 him.
Nice.
That's nice. And having, when he untaps, he's going to have 5 lands, and he can actually fuse turn burn on something if he needs to. That's one of the few ways you can kill an Erebos after it's active.
Right. But I mean, he chose not to pick off the Lifebane zombie there. He didn't know he had Supreme Verdict yet.
Right. Yeah, he chose not to do that. And then drew Supreme
Verdict,
He's like,
so
hey,
even better.
This works.
Slowed Joe down a little bit, thinking.
Scry first.
Yep. Looks like he's got an Erebos queued up.
Yeah, either that or a demon, but he's got an Erebos in his hand, so figure that's what it is.
This seems like a matchup where Demon is at its best. Doesn't get tapped very often.
That's right, and also you can just play it and be like, look, if you want to burn your fogs on my one card.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just 6 power for 4.
Yeah. All right, and there's Detention Sphere to take down Erebos from John Torres. Did he miss a land drop now, though? Wow, that's the first time we've seen him do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. He's going to need to find that Maze's End at some point here, but he's in a perfectly fine situation.
Not without a Maze's End, he's not. Like, he's not advancing his game plan at all. He's just stalling.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's under no pressure right now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, there is a Thoughtseize, and it sees 2 turn burn, a fog, a merciless eviction, and a detention sphere.
I can't believe he said enchantments last game. There's no way he missed the... I believe his story to his buddy. That he meant to say creatures and just misspoke. Because the thing is, enchantments kills his crackling perimeter. The enchantments would have killed his crackling perimeter too.
It did,
like,
yeah.
His primary victory condition in that game was crackling perimeter. He wasn't going to miss that. Like, you might forget you have detention spheres in play. You're not going to forget you have crackling perimeter in play. You've been activating it every turn. That's a pretty bad punt, though. Especially this game where, like, he needs to draw a Maze's End or a crackling perimeter.
Yes.
He's got no game.
Yes,
I guess
he is not going anywhere. He's not being pounded on by an army from Joe Demestrio or anything.
I mean, he's being pounded on by Underworld connections.
Yes, that just happened, and he's going to start falling behind quite quickly here. Yeah, and this is Thoughtseize. And we see the same hand as before minus the land that he had drawn last turn, so double turn burn, merciless eviction, and a fog. And there's Erebos. Erebos is not a creature currently.
Right.
That's not a Maze's End. It is a guild gate, though. He's got to be approaching 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess he's got 5. Because I think he's
7 lands in play, but 1 is a duplicate.
Yeah.
Green-white guild, and 1 is a non-gate?
I believe.
Or does he have 6? We need our life total judge to keep, like, Joe's life total is actually the number of gates that Torrez has in play.
Yeah. So he's at 10.
We started the game at 10.
Maybe 8, yeah.
He's down to 5 or 4 right now, isn't he?
I was doing the math. All right, let's see what Joe comes up with for this turn. He's going to play a Pack Rat, which still does not activate Erebos.
Yeah, I'm not even convinced he wants to turn on Erebos.
I'm not convinced of that either.
It will get turn burned.
But he's
now
going
it's turned
to.
on. All right, he's going to force the turn burn.
Turn and burn.
So the way this works, like Erebos might look indestructible, but if you turn him into an 0/1 with no abilities, then 2 damage will in fact kill him. So that's what a fused turn burn does.
That's right.
Joe is going to activate him as a response once in order to pay 2 life to draw a card. And then, yeah, turn burn's good against gods. That's what it does. It can kill the indestructible gods if you fuse it.
This is going to get
they
really
have to be
tight
creatures,
here.
though.
They
like,
do have to be a creature.
You can't turn an enchantment into an 0/1. It has to be a creature to be a legal target, but once it's a creature, a fused turn burn will kill a god.
Now this is going to get interesting here because John Torrez just drew another land, and the pressure's mounting quite quickly. He needs to find a way to get rid of Pack
second
Rats.
turn burn. Gets 1 Pack Rat.
1 Pack Rat, though.
But there's 2 Mutavaults. He can make 2 rats, or he can make 1 rat, turn on 2 Mutavaults.
You see John Torrez tap the top of his
there's
deck.
the fog. Okay, yeah, he cast a response.
He cast it in response. I mean, if he draws Crackling Perimeter, he could have him. He could 2-turn him.
I assume there's a red mana in there somewhere.
That's actually a good point. Well, he turn burned, so yes,
yeah,
there is.
must be. Okay.
What did he draw? He's at 15. Oh, Merciless Eviction takes a minute. Names creatures. That's tough, stupid Pack Rat, right? Just 2 mana creature. He's got to burn his whole, because he'd love to take down, other stuff, but he can't. Pack Rat's too important.
Three Mutavaults.
Take 6.
Crunch. No cards in John Torres' hand. Top deck mode.
He passed a turn back, would signal a fog most likely.
Joe declined to draw cards? No, he drew a card. Okay.
He finds a Duress nicely timed here. And it's not, it's just a breeding pool. Nice keep in hand there, make Joe burn a Duress on nothing, but unfortunately John Torrez is going to fall behind very quickly here.
He's got 1 more turn.
He's got a turn, and I don't even know what he can find. Oh, wow. Joe Demestrio's at 7?
Gray Merchant.
Oh, and he's going to Gray Merchant him out.
To finish him off. There's the handshake.
And that's going to do it. Joe Demestrio improves to 8-1.
Receives a gift.
He did indeed.
He was not winning that game too.
No.
Until John Torrez misspoke and accidentally named enchantments with a Merciless Eviction that should have been naming creatures.
That's right.
And Maze's End goes to 7-2. So still through to day 2, but top 8 got a lot harder right there.